Hi guys, I made a video a while back about the upcoming Orbital Pathfinder mouse that is now a reality. At the time, all I had was the prototype that had its own issues since it was a 3D printed sample and some aspects were not finished. I've had the finished model from batch 1 for quite some time now, and they just released some interesting information about the upgrades coming in the second batch, so I thought I'd make a video about how those changes are in line with experiences I've had with this one. But first things first, if you are not familiar with this mouse, it is a modular gaming mouse that you can really shape to your liking. They have also managed to make this possible while keeping the mouse weight at a reasonable 52 to 55 grams level. Of course, this changes a bit depending on the build you come up with, but generally it is a nice weight for a modular mouse. So, how this works is you can change the back part and the sides to various different shapes that come included, and also have some spacers to adjust the width and length of the mouse. The main buttons are attached to the main body, so changing those is not possible. The rail system that makes this possible has been improved a lot from the prototype, and during my time of testing I have not found it to loosen at all, and it is reasonably sturdy. I talked with them about how they tested the durability, and I don't really think their claim that it can hold over 10,000 shape changes is any false. But in case anything bad happens to the system, they will have a 2 years warranty, which is quite uncommon and very generous. With the upcoming batch, this system is said to be even sturdier, so it is safe to assume the system will offer a great user experience. Of course, with this many moving parts, it is not the same kind of sturdiness of a mouse as with a solid shell gaming mouse. But honestly, I would still say it is more sturdy than the first batch ULX I had. It has that same kind of up and down movement if you really try to make it flex that way, but I don't feel it has hindered me at all. And of course, how physics works is the less spacers you have between your parts, the less it has potential to move, since the leverage is smaller, which is what I found on my unit as well. With no spacers, this thing feels very solid, and with the larger spacers, it is still reasonably sturdy. I still like my mice to be completely flex free, but this amount of flex is quite reasonable for a modular mouse, and it is way less than I initially expected. Also, I found that the black main body it came with, there is less movement than with the special edition transparent plastic body that I have in orange. With the batch 2, they also have increased the shell thickness, which will make this flexiness even less of a problem, and I really hope it applies to the transparent bodies as well. The main clicks are Omron opticals, and they feel like a reasonably solid implementation. The pre and post travel is pretty nice, but there is still some side-to-side play that I hope they improved as well with the batch 2. It is nothing major, but still there is some. The side buttons are one of the weak points here because they are kind of flimsy even with the shortest ones that I have here, and the longer you go with those, the more play you are gonna get on those because physics. With the batch 2, there are also gonna be some improvements to the clicks, both the main buttons and side buttons, which was nice to hear, and I'm really eager to see how well they have managed to make those. The scroll wheel is metallic and it feels very premium stuff. And also, like, the scroll wheel click feels very nice as well. So nothing bad to say about that, and yeah, I really like the look of a metallic scroll wheel. Inside the mouse, they are using the latest Pixar 3950 sensor and a Nordic MCU, and the firmware seems to be Comp X, so performance-wise there is really nothing to complain about like usual these days. These will perform as well as other recent mouse releases. With the batch 2, they are also gonna be releasing a web driver, which is a very welcome addition. I haven't received a link to that yet, but what I saw from the video, it should deliver you some nice customization as well as a brightness slider for the dongle if you dislike the original brightness. But now I want to go over my favorite shape and why I chose those parts. What I wanted to achieve with the shape was a perfect relaxed claw grip that requires minimal amount of hand tension to use. So what I did is I first picked the hump that felt the most comfortable for me. Ultimately, that ended up being the high hump that is very similar to the G303 and Aria Gear RCC one type of hump. Then I just put the A pieces to each side and started swapping the right side pieces to fill in the spaces for my fingers. I ultimately felt most comfortable with the W piece because it provides a nice gripping surface while keeping my fingers slightly curled up. This maximizes wrist range of motion, which is what I really like to have for micro adjustments. You can try this yourself. Keep your fingers straight and try to move your wrist side to side. It's kinda hard, isn't it? Now curl your fingers like you're holding a ball. Notice how much less tension there is on the wrist. And that applies here. It's very nimble in hand. I get a really good range of motion and I can pick this up with minimal hand tension. Okay, so that is enough for the right side. For the left side, I then wanted something that my thumb can really get a good hold of, and I usually like an outwards hump under it rather than a concave. So there I went with the P shape, which has a similar feel as the place I put my thumb when using the G-Wolf's Fenrir ASIM mouse when I fingertip. So yeah. Then after these were settled, I tried different spacers to fill in the extra space, but eventually I just went with none because of that extra flexiness issue I talk about. But yeah, this feels very good to use. Then to finish, I put some suitable side buttons and they are the smaller ones. But yeah, there you have it. This is my go-to build for this mouse. Would I recommend this mouse? Yes, if you can live with a bit of creaking, a bit of flexiness, and if you are someone who still is looking for that perfect shape. This is a very niche product, but it really allows you to mold the mouse to your personal needs. I wouldn't be concerned about the durability of the mouse at all, and the warranty they provide is very generous if something would ever happen to it. With this mouse you will essentially have over 3000 shape configurations and more if you are a fan of 3D printing, so it is pretty much the ultimate tinkerer's mouse. The price is a bit steep at $189, but if you usually buy multiple mice during a year just to try things out, this is not that bad of a price. But yeah, that is all for this one. Thanks for watching and goodbye.